This is Frank Skinner's podcast, Absolute Radio. You can put that in any order you like. I'm with Emily and Gareth. What a show that was. It was odd. It was odd.
It's a bit strange,
the odder
but I
they get,
loved
the
it.
more I like them. You know what I mean? It was... I felt it was one of those days when I really felt the strange link with the listeners. I felt there was a cosmic... As if there was vapours emanating from me and going into their nostrils, like that bit when the tomcat in Tom and Jerry, the Tom-Tom, who used the Tom-Tom when he was driving. Remember when he used to smell like a fish cooking, and he used to go into his nostrils and he used to float up and float towards...
Pepe Le Pew.
No, because Pepe Le Pew was an unpleasant smell. No one would float towards that. They would be recoiled. But I felt that today. I felt like a cosmic closeness to everyone.
They loved us. They sent us so many emails and texts.
Man. They loved us. It's a great way of looking at it.
You loved us, listener.
Yeah, but what's important, what I'm saying is I love them.
Yes,
do you understand?
No, we love them.
There was love in the room today.
Yeah.
Reece Shearsmith was on from League of Gentlemen. He was lovely, surprising. It wasn't surprising. I expect him to be funny, but I didn't think he'd be such a nice and sort of down-to-earth chap.
Did you think he looked like Papa Lazarou when he came in?
I thought he'd be sort of sinister in some way, but he was very good. I think there's some way. I think it's one of the best shows we've ever done.
Big words. Big words.
But now you get the chance to test it, and that's good, isn't it? Because you're going to listen to it now. And then you can write in and you can put it. It's the 17th show. You can write in and tell us where you put it.
Let's just let them listen.
Okay. Why do you need this? Just listen.
Absolute Radio.
I'm Frank Skinner. I'm on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily and Gareth. What else? What other sentence that begins I'm? I'm in quite a strange mood this morning. I don't know quite what it is.
What is it?
I feel agitated.
Yeah, you are a bit agitated. I'm going to be honest with you.
I didn't sleep. I kept waking as if something portentous.
I did that. I had quite disturbing dreams tonight.
Tonight?
That is portentous.
It is, if you had them tonight.
I have all my dreams in advance. It saves time.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And then one can edit as well, because there are some dreams that are just a waste of time. Well, don't talk. Are you going to talk about dreams?
No,
I'm not going to talk about
People who talk about dreams now.
It's worse than hearing about people's problems. I cannot bear it.
Also,
it's worse than hearing about people's boring lives.
I'll tell you something. I never believe people who talk about their dreams because there's no way that any of it can be checked. I always think, people make up interesting dreams just as... That's things that they've really thought, and they're trying to dress it up as a dream so it's okay to say. That's what I think. That's kind of suspicious.
In your dark sci-fi universe, you would have a way to check what people are dreaming.
Well, that would be good.
When, with my dreams, you can check them because I've dreamt them all in advance.
Yeah. With my dreams, I'd like to Sky Plus them, because there's some dreams I'd like to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, none of my dreams last night were keepers. They're things I'd much
Can I just say you are now talking about dreams, so both of you shut up.
I think talking about in the abstract.
Okay. Hey, listen, Frank, we've just had... Deborah Terry has just emailed in to say, wow, Frank, what a brilliant start to the show, because she was very pleased to hear Susie at 8 a.m.
Well, that is good. I think people expect at this time of the day if it's going to be Coldplay. And then they get Susie in the Banshees. Well, I appreciate that. What was the name of that?
Her name is Deborah Terry.
Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that very much indeed. People, we got told off for not reading out the names of people who emailed in, and that because we thought, the names, what does that matter? But obviously, we very much appreciate you texting us anything on 8, 12, 15.
If you don't give your name, I'll make up a name for you.
Don't do that. People like that even. Because I don't think we should attribute. We should just... anyway. So, I tell you something that happened to me. I was walking along the south bank of the Thames in London, which is a large conurbation
it's your
in
garden.
the southeast. Yeah, more or less. And there was... You know when you see those crocodiles of kids, like school kids all marching together, and there was like a load of kids, and there was a teacher, and he was pointing across the river, and he said, and over there, you see that white building next to it? He said, that's Westminster Abbey, where all the kings and queens are buried. And one of the kids went, "Way!" I mean, I don't know if he was a Republican, but he seemed to be celebrating somehow the deaths of our royal family. And then the bloke said, and he's a very famous man, suddenly pointed at me. And I thought, well, very's pushing it, but we'll let it rest. And then I walked a bit further, because these kids were they were about 7, I suppose. So I walked a bit further down, and in about 20 of them, in unison, went, "Frank Skinner." It was a really weird moment.
Wow, they're going to think you're always there.
Yeah.
Whenever they see you now, they'll be go, "Oh, that's Frank Skinner. He's the guy who hangs around on the South Bank."
Yeah, he's the guy that stands opposite the royal family's carnage spot, the Westminster Abbey thing. Yeah, so it's an interesting... it's what it must be like to be proper famous, that school kids call your name in unison. But hey, I enjoyed it.
Absolute Radio.
That was altogether now arguably the best football song of all time.
We didn't jump in. We were in
Definitely
trouble.
not. Definitely World in Motion.
Yes. So anyway, yes, it's hot. It's been hot, hasn't it?
I love it.
We've reached the stage where we're already talking about the weather. Yeah. I'm loving it. I like it when it's so hot. There's pensioners on the pavement. As I think Morrissey do a song, "Pensioners on the Pavement." I know.
Sounds like the sort of thing he might do.
Do you know what? The only thing I think about the hot weather, though, is I feel sorry for British guys because you're rubbish. You don't know how to deal with it. Because, like, continental men are really good. They've got the really quick, hasty lech down to a fine art.
Oh, the leching element.
Yeah. Because there's all this flesh on display and you're really bad at it. Like, you take so long over it because you're not used to it.
Yeah, it's a real... I don't know what the politics of it is. That, I mean, if you see a woman in an incredibly short skirt and nice legs, I always think, you know, if you look, it's a bad thing. But if you don't look, it seems so unnatural. And I don't know if women want you to look. I sat on the tube. Yes, I used the tube. Get over it. I sat on the tube and I've got an Oyster card.
You have not.
I have.
I bet it's gold.
Yeah. Can you get a gold Oyster card?
You've got
I think
one.
it would be pearl, wouldn't it? Anyway, so this woman sat opposite me in a very short skirt and a very attractive woman. And I looked, I knew the legs were there. I could see them in my periphery vision, the slightly browned limbs. But I thought, I felt not only was she looking at me in a kind of a, you just try it kind of a way, but everyone I felt the whole carriage were thinking, if you look at her legs, we're going to pull the communication cord, even though there isn't actually one on the tube. So I didn't look. And that seems crazy. I'm crippled by political correctness.
Well, I think it's funny because when you notice a part of a lady's body,
yes,
I feel like, oh no, I better not look at it, and then I think, oh no, well I've obviously already looked at it because I know it's there, and then that's very difficult to do.
But we don't mind you looking.
Okay.
Just for the
you'll
record.
speak on behalf of all women,
I will.
do you?
All womankind. We don't mind you looking, but just be a bit quick about it. So see it like
Oh,
a kind
that's
of
worse.
See it, no, it
Yeah,
shouldn't.
that's
It's
what
like,
you say about everything.
It's like a football 1-2, like glance lech, like really quickly, like that.
Oh no, I can't live with that. I mean, that's
It's much better. You're like pensioners trying to text or something. It just takes forever. It's like, just hurry up.
You're right. I am like a pensioner trying to.
Dragging into an alleyway is always too much.
Well,
isn't it?
I'm going to start defending. I'm going to start stepping in front of these women with that black and yellow tape that the police put up, saying, "Got nothing to see here. Come on, move along. Come on."
If there's a time period, right, you need to give us an exact time so that we can time it. So
You've
that
just
we can
looked
look
for
the
too
amount
long.
of time that
You
we're
just
allowed
looked
to
at
look.
my top too long,
Really?
Gareth.
Okay,
yeah.
that was too much. Fine.
Well, that's it. Now we're
Now we
talking
know where we
about
are.
it.
Now we're talking about it.
I don't know where to look at all now.
No,
There's
we're
4
surrounded
women
by,
in the
we're
studio.
surrounded by women, Frank. I'm just going to look at your crotch. That is all I'm going to...
Frank has just pulled his top up. Oh my god!
Come on, not bad for 52.
That's very
I was
good.
thinking of having a tattoo that said "not bad for 52." Which I could have updated each birthday. What do you think?
Like crossed out and then...
Yeah. Well, eventually I'd cross out the whole thing, probably.
Yeah.
I'd just cross out the knot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. I don't have a tattoo.
No.
Do you have a tattoo?
No, I have no tattoos.
No,
Emily?
I have one here on my chest, but you wouldn't know. I made you look.
Oh, I fell for the old cleavage trick. What a fool I've made of
On
myself.
your chest, is it a tattoo of a pair of glasses?
It's a tattoo that says, "What you looking at, pervert?"
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily and Gareth, and if you'd like to text us about anything, really, I mean anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Someone called Fiji.
Hold on,
sorry.
I'm doing the number. Have you never heard radio before? It's 8, 12, 15. Right? That number again. 8, 12, 15. Okay, you were saying.
Do you want to hear what I'm going to say now?
Yeah.
Someone called Fiji Matt says, in reference to what we were saying about the whether you look at women debate, says, look, it's our God-given right.
Oh,
that's what he thinks.
Interesting. It's obviously very religious, Matt.
Yeah.
Is it a prayer, Matt? Prayer, Fiji, Matt? I'm sorry. Can we do that again? What, it's live?
Prayer,
You should have told us that earlier. Sorry, so, yeah. Well, that's good. I tell you, you went to... there was a Blur trailer on there. I don't know if you was listening to it, because often we fade everything that goes out and just talk about, unless it's one of my tracks, then I make them listen. You went to see Blur.
Yeah, I went to see Blur on Thursday night. And it was... Blur, for me, are... Like, they were the band when I was kind of 15, and you're at that point where you're going, who am I? What do I want to be? And they came along and just encapsulated everything that I wanted from life.
So who are you, then?
I'm Damon from Blur.
Oh, are you?
If at all possible.
Oh, okay.
I am Damon from Blur. And it was absolutely brilliant. And it was funny because it's all about, you know, they Graham and Damon have got back together, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Oh, spare me the first names.
Yeah.
For goodness sake. Yes,
like,
okay.
they've become friends again, and people thought it would never happen and that they'd never work together again. And I went with a mate that I haven't seen for 7 years. And we got in touch on Facebook, and he said, do you want to go and see Blur? So it was like we had a reunion to go and see.
Why hadn't you seen him for 7 years? Was there a boss stop?
We didn't. Well, we used to be in a very successful Britpop band, and then we drifted apart.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's not. I'm not very good. I moved around quite a lot, and I'm not very good at keeping in touch with people. But I find when I'm friends with someone, like, you know, when you get back together, it doesn't matter.
Are you part of the government's witness protection programme? You're one of those people?
Well, we just moved on a lot, my family.
Okay, fair. Yes, all right.
After people want to build on the waste ground, they want us to move.
I can have a vision of you leaving a flat at midnight through the window, suitcases. Okay, but it was a good gig, wasn't it?
It was absolutely fantastic.
Who's the one that makes cheese?
And that's Alex, the bass player, Alex James.
Like
I thought that was just a text that someone had sent to you, and then they were in a very early morning pub quiz.
Now, I've seen somebody from the Blur in The Guardian. Now, he makes cheese, doesn't he?
That's quite an accurate impersonation.
There was a dairy industry themed very early morning pub quiz going on somewhere in South London. That'd be a good question. Who makes cheese? Sorry, carry on.
There was a brilliant moment when, like, Nathan, who's the guy I went with, he likes really obscure stuff, and we were talking about what tracks we'd like them to play.
You mean musically?
Musically,
not like, you know, the Venerable Bede's writings.
He said that there's this track called Oily Water, which is one of the most obscure Blur songs you'll ever come across. They actually sing it through a megaphone.
Oh, Marky Smith was doing that for the Fall.
I was going to say that sounds like
Marky Smith, the Fall of the Best. We're not talking about the Fall. We must talk about the Fall. Yeah, no, but they do that. And then the thing is, in one of the breaks, he shouted it out. He shouted out Oily Water as a joke. But they did it.
What, as a request?
They played it. I think they were going to do it anyway.
How many people were at that gig? It was in Hyde Park. There were 70,000.
There were 55,000 people.
And they heard your mate shout Oily Water and say, that's a good idea.
Or they definitely... Like, we were quite near the front. It was the best thing that's... I think it was the best thing
that's ever happened to you.
Well...
This is a man who had a baby about 4 weeks. I just hope your wife, Laura, is listening to this.
It's the icing on the cake.
Yes. Was there a cake?
It was.
There was no cake brought in here from the birth. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the Blur.
Brilliant, and Absolute they're playing the whole thing at 5 o'clock on Sunday. So we're very on message.
You're such a corporate man.
What a company man you are.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I should be listening to that.
Absolute
Radio.
We've had some rather unusual emails in.
Emails or texts or both?
What does it matter?
Okay, if you want to email us. Use a computer. I can't keep these numbers in my head. I'm used to just pressing a button.
Terrible. Right. Someone called Mary Poulton from Wofford. I'm sure that's Watford.
No, it could be Wofford.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Maybe she's just got a very broad accent. Wofford.
Says, Frank, you have such cool musical taste. I'm loving it. That's why I thought it was a little bit unusual.
Oh, Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, Mary.
There's someone else.
There isn't a song with Mary in it. I'm thinking of one of those. Mary had a little lamb.
That's a nursery rhyme. Why have you given it some rock
Paul
tune?
McCartney brought that out as a single. Speaking of lamb, I was I heard myself. I was going to order lamb in the restaurant the other day.
Speaking of lamb,
yeah, we mentioned lamb, and we was in the restaurant, and I was looking at the line of lamb, and I said, "What do you think about lamb today?" And Gareth went, and I said, "Too hot for lamb," and. I'm thinking it'd be a great title if ever I bring out a rock album. It could be called "Too Hot for Lamb," right? And there could be it's like a live album. At one point, I go, "Too hot for lamb," and the crowd all go, "Meh." Phew, and we'd have a whole thing going. Sorry, what else has been sent in? I told you I was in an odd mood this morning.
You really are.
Yeah.
Extraordinary.
I think it might be those acrylic pyjamas.
So Paul in Leeds has said, Frank, do you think it's acceptable to wear odd socks?
Well, I'll tell you something.
Why are you just answering like it's a normal question? That's quite weird.
I think, well, some girls and some young people do it as an affectation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think if they're in... I go for ones that are in the same ballpark, colour-wise. When I used to have my school holidays, I would pick a pair of socks and wear them for the whole school holidays, because I thought it's school holidays. And I would wear the same socks for like 6 weeks.
What?
I'd get to the point, after about 3 weeks, it becomes possible to get your socks on the wrong feet. They're actually uncomfortable. There's like the bulb of the big toe indentation leaves a lot of gap around the little toe area.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So I think it's okay with odd socks. I don't like it when people wear a red one and a yellow one in a kind of a, look at me, I could be a great BBC children's presenter kind of a way.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I tell you how I judge people, not by their socks. I judge people, this is a little bit idiosyncratic, I'll admit it, by their key rings. I think you can judge a lot by someone's key ring, because people, they select them usually. And you get people who get like a football club key ring or whatever.
Yes, do you think someone presents something of their soul through their
I
key
think
ring?
if someone gave me a key ring just out of the blue in a sealed envelope and I looked at it, I'd be able to say some things about that person which would be quite accurate from their choice. If they'd chosen it, not one that they...
Not if you saw mine.
Well, I don't know what... I must have seen your key ring in the past.
Well, let's get key rings out. Let's see what's
I'm sure we've
going
been
on
to
with key
parties
rings.
where all our keys are in an ashtray.
It's a very useful skill at those sorts
You've
of
so
parties.
seen my keyring. My keyring says Chav Scum.
I can't believe you've... It says Chav Scum.
Is that bad?
Is that so you...
Is it...
You don't
were a
even
member
have
of the Conservative Party and that was a gift? Oh, dear. Well,
My sister got it for me.
OK. Is she Chav Scum?
No, but she just... I think she...
Was it ironic?
Yeah.
I'm slightly taken aback.
I hate that
don't
you
know
have
what
to ask
say.
whether
if
it's
there's any
ironic.
Chav Scum listening, I mean, come on, no offence. So, adverts, I think. Then, well, tell you what, why don't you text in with what your keyring is, and I'll just tell me your keyring, and I'll tell you what kind of person you are. What about that? That's on 8, 12, 15.
Absolute
Radio.
People think they got the wrong station, aren't they? Too hot for lamb. So.
I tell you what's too hot for lamb.
What?
The keyring texting.
Has there been a cavalcade?
It's gone
I love
crazy.
that one.
An avalanche?
Thank you, listeners.
There's been an avalanche. We've finally found something that people couldn't be bothered to texting about. Thank you all.
They love
Yes.
it.
Okay, so
You know what? I love them. I've started to feel that the listeners are kind of like my mates who I go out with on a Saturday morning. What about that?
Yes.
That's just happened. It has just happened.
That's a beautiful thing.
It has.
really nice.
It's made me feel too hot for lamb. Okay. What?
So we're going to read you the key rings, and you're going to tell us about
I'm going to
these
give you a
people. You're
character
gonna-
analysis. Go on, I'm
Okay.
ready.
So, Adam at work, I have amateur gynaecologist on my key ring. Idiot.
Yes. And I'm not sure about that, Adam. I mean, think
No.
about it. Yes. Well, if I ever meet you, come and say hello, but don't expect a handshake. Carry on.
Jane from Torquay, my key ring is a Staples reward tag.
A Staples reward.
Staples, the stationery shop.
Oh. I don't know what a reward... I'm saying you're a very orderly person. I love stationery, I have to say. Oh, man, put me in a stationery shop. I buy those little coloured things that you put on the top of
I love
bits of
stationery.
paper. Oh, man. She
it's
started
just-
me now on this.
I get so excited about stationery. A stationery shop with blur in. Oh,
Yes.
that would be incredible.
What about a stationery shop with in? For me, you need sawdust as soon as possible.
What do you think about Andy?
I think she's a very orderly woman, very in control of her life.
Very good.
What do you think of Andy from Wakefield, who has a Jack Daniels bottle opener and a Tesco's club card?
Well, I think he's very good Cockney, and I'm surprised the ring pull element of the club card hasn't removed the bottle opener necessity of the other.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm starting to sound like Derek Acora. In the spirit world, oh man, he's happy in the spirit world.
Spooky.
Is the spirit world a section of Tesco's? I'm suspecting it is.
My keyring says jazzercise. Bet you don't know what that is, Pam.
Jazzercise almost certainly will be a sort of aerobics thing that
Yes.
one goes
Yeah.
to and dances, not to jazz, but sort of jazz funk. You know what I'm saying?
For a lady of a certain age.
Well, I don't know. I think she
reckon?
might be a bit younger than your average jazzercise person. I think she's, she's...
The workout
making
gear
an
would be
effort.
pink, definitely.
Oh, God, yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't think she'd go as far as a leg warmer because she consider that to be too much. She might wear a baseball cap and pull a ponytail through the bit at the back where you have the sort of adjustment strap.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit quirky.
That's another way how I judge people, actually.
Is it?
I have a look. If someone's got a baseball cap on, say, on the boss or something, yes, I use the boss. I see how many holes they've used, and if they've only used 2 or 3 holes, I think they must have a very small brain.
This is interesting. Simon has a bottle opener and the male symbol, so a circle and an arrow.
Yes, I know the male symbol. Don't worry about that. Is it a bottle opener that is the male symbol? Because the male symbol,
You could use that.
it would make a very good.
If it's
bottle
not that,
opener.
that is an
yeah.
excellent idea.
That's,
for
if
a
anyone here
keyring.
makes bottle openers,
we should we should do that, Frank.
Oh, I can't be bothered.
Oh, as if you're going to do that.
I mean, God, how much money do I need? So you could make a 3D male symbol, and then you can use the
and then
arrow.
the circle and the arrow. Oh,
the arrow
You
could just
you could
hook-
do both. You could, you have the circular ones, and then the thing that you put over the bottle like that, and you could
I'm
have a
bored.
hook
Are you
one.
bored now? I'm bored.
I'm so bored. It's the worst conversation you've ever had.
If the producers of Dragon's Den are listening, we want to come on, please.
If the producers of Dragon's Den are listening, I'm not very keen on your programme.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Any more texts?
Yeah, you're only asking any more text because you know.
Hold on, I'm going to cough. It's very
Okay.
unprofessional.
You're right there, Steptoe.
It wasn't a very.
It's uncanny.
Don't leave me, Harold.
So Jane from Torquay says, "You're so right, Frank." And this is in regards to. Do you remember?
Something I asked her in bed 12 years ago in a hotel on the south coast.
You said the lady with staples on a keyring, or was very organised. Do you remember?
Yes.
She says, "I'm an NVQ assessor, and I have to be organised."
Well, you do, Jane.
Yeah.
Jane, did you say?
Yes.
Yes, well done, Jane. When I find out what NVQ is, I shall congratulate you in a more detailed fashion.
Is it the National Vocational Qualification?
Oh, yeah,
It is, Gareth.
it'll be something like that. I don't have any doubts
I think
about
at
that.
school we used to say that stood for not very quick.
Did you?
That's cruel.
Yeah, it was
I
at
feel
your
bad-
school.
I feel bad about it.
God, I mean, you have to be sent by a doctor to your school, didn't you?
After that Blur rendition.
Yeah, exactly. It was a blur. That's what I think. So, have you made your big decision yet, Emily?
My big decision, is this with regard to my pet?
Yes.
Well, I want to buy a pet because I got really panicky when I was changing a light bulb the other day in heels. And I thought, because I have to wear them to reach, because the ladder's not tall
enough. Do you mean you were
enough.
changing one in heels, the
No,
interior decorating
wearing
shop?
a pair of heels.
Oh, you okay.
Because my ladder's not quite tall enough.
Can you
to
get
to the
special
top.
light bulb changing high heels that are so high you
That'd
can just walk around?
Put that next
Yeah,
to
next
what's that
to
other?
the,
Oh yeah, the male symbol
male
shaped
symbol.
bottle.
I wear
keyring.
platforms
I'm
to
writing that
change light bulbs in because my ladder's not quite tall enough, so I wear
see.
high heels. And I just have that panicky moment. I think, what if I fell off the ladder in the stilettos or the platforms, and then something terrible happened?
Well, at least you'd be found dead in nice shoes.
I'd look nice, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do panic a bit because I live on my own. And I think at least if I had a pet, it would, like, raise the alarm like Skippy if something bad happened.
I wouldn't count on that.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you got a giraffe, of course, you could get rid of the stepladder.
So I want to get a pet, but I don't want to get something common or garden like a dog or a cat. So I was thinking a fox.
I don't think.
Fox.
No, but listen.
I'd like you to say something not common or garden. One of the most popular places to see foxes in the city.
No, because
I don't think you can.
You can.
One own a fox?
You can degland them so that they don't smell so much.
Oh, you can degland them. I've got a special knife for it. But we're not talking about my hunting and
You're
poaching
not going
days.
near my fox, and I want to get a little suit for it like Foxy Bingo, and I'd have it on a lead.
Well, I think
wrong
that's
with
all.
that?
I think that's probably all right.
And I might wax it as well, like, because it... no, just because the
You
tail...
want a naked fox?
No,
That's horrible.
just where the fur gets too rough, because I'd want it in the
right.
bed, and I wouldn't want it to be too rough.
If you wax the fox's tail, you would, in a way, you'd rob it of its essential personality.
You want
wouldn't
to wax a fox so it's better in bed.
Oh, and not.
I didn't say that.
No, look, I think
you
we've
did say
gone
that.
into a strange fantasy now. By the way, speaking of strange fantasies, Reece Shearsmith is on the show very shortly. Should we call him Reece Shearsmith from?
He is still
Psychoville.
part of the League of
Psychoville.
Gentlemen,
Yeah,
but he's doing the Psychoville.
But
at
it's
the
all
moment,
right to
that's
say
their
from
big
League.
show.
He's not going to come on and
Yeah,
say, "Why
no.
keep going on about League of Gentlemen?
Yeah.
That's my past." Is it
I
going
don't
to? It's
think-
not going to be
no,
like
they
that,
haven't
is
done a
it?
blur, no.
No.
Someone's just said, forget the pet, take me home instead.
Oh my goodness.
Basil Brush.
It's Chris on the M25.
I wouldn't fancy Basil Brush's chances of changing a light bulb.
You can, Chris, but you'll need to have your glands removed before.
And you'll need to be waxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep them. We can put them in a jar for you, but you can't have them.
When it was really hot the other day, we had a weird thing. We opened our patio doors.
Which glands do you remove, by the way? Is it the tear glands for when it's been waxed? Bum! Bum! Too hot for fox! Sorry.
We opened.
I said fox, anyone who's just tuned in.
I'm really glad you cleared that
Yeah,
up.
well, I don't want any misunderstanding.
We opened the door in the lounge, and then we're in a bungalow, so it's all on the same floor to let air through. But then in the bedroom, Laura said, "Oh, I can hear something. Something's come into the lounge."
Oh, God.
Was it a fox?
It wasn't a fox,
Oh.
but we thought it might be a fox because we hear foxes outside and they make terrible sounds.
I
Foxes
love
at
it.
night.
That's why I like them.
Was
Awful.
it a...
Guess.
was it a tapir?
It wasn't a tapir.
Was it Slender Loris?
It was. It was. We've got a little sequined silver cushion that Laura chose.
Oh, yeah. A tiny Liberace had come in
Yeah.
from the garden and sat on it.
On this silver cushion, a frog.
On a cushion. If you'd have kissed that frog, it would have turned into Prince Charles.
Laura can hear a frog
Everybody
from
can hear a
another
frog.
room.
Everybody can
wasn't-
hear. Have you never seen the
Really?
Budweiser advert?
Bum, 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 la la la. That's what it
Enough
was
singing
doing.
for one day now. It's another Paul McCartney song. Paul McCartney's getting a very good airing today. Actually, but I did say fox and nothing else. Did you see when Andy Murray was accused of swearing by the umpire?
Oh, was
yesterday?
he?
And he went, what was I supposed... You know, he's sort of, what was I supposed to say?
Weird voice.
I didn't swear, the bloke said, well, how could I possibly know what you say when you just go... So I thought he had a good point.
Absolute
Radio.
It's been an odd morning, hasn't it, in many ways. I think I might be having some sort of an aneurysm. So we're with, I was going to say Reese Witherspoon then.
Yeah.
And loads of people would have found in and asked questions about
Yeah,
the shape of her chin. But we're not with Reece Shearsmith
different
of League of Gentlemen fame.
Yes.
You
Off
look,
of.
Now, I don't mean to be in any way insulting. You're looking
Oh,
a bit
God.
clammy, Reece. You're sweating up a bit.
Right, yeah, well, that's because I hate the sun. And I just sweat in anger of it.
But isn't it beautiful? It's supposed to people get
No.
happier.
Well, I know, yeah, people... I am odd, I think, but I hate it. I find it intolerable. Insufferable. You just want to get out of it. I try and stay in as much as I can in a cool room.
My girlfriend's like this. She like
I can't
rails.
find anything good about it. What's good about it? You feel uncomfortable. You can't do anything because you just fag it out.
Yeah, well, leave it. I like the opportunity as a 52-year-old man to walk around in shorts and ankle socks because I know that the youth around me are appalled. And why should their life be endlessly fun?
When you can present to them what they're going to become.
Exactly. I actually carry a large sign that says "Coming Soon" as I walk around the West End. No, I do like it. I was in Greece recently. It was 39 degrees, would you believe?
What did you do?
Well, the brilliant thing is, like they do in all these countries, it's not very much.
Right, I see.
Because they get busy in the morning, and then about 12 they think, well, that'll do me for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then everyone just does nothing, and there's something great about that.
Yeah, well, I think it's just...
I haven't won
it
you
makes me
over.
feel like I'm ill. That's what it makes me feel like. I find it.
What's your? You must be a very fervent campaigner against global warming.
Yes, and that's the other thing. Of course, yeah, it's a nightmare. I think.
I'm afraid, Reece, it's going to get worse.
Yes,
and worse.
Well, I don't mind when it snows. I love the cold. I love winter. I love from September onwards.
That's because it's
I'm
not
happy.
hot.
Yeah,
There's a logic to that. I think you'll find.
No, but I like Halloween.
But it's going to get hotter.
Yeah,
this is the tip of. That's a terrible analogy.
Yeah,
it's not the tip of the iceberg, is it?
No.
It's the tip of the.
That's gone, melted away.
Yeah, that's gone. It's taken several poor polar bears with it. But hey, so you're going to a fete today. Is that right?
I am. Yeah, it's my children's school's summer fair today.
Sorry, I can't imagine you going there with.
He's doing the face. Are you doing the face painting?
I'm on the face painting stall for half an hour. Yeah.
Can you imagine what those kids are going to look like afterwards?
Are they going to be going, Dad?
Next one, please. You're my wife now.
I might have to clap that.
I'm going to shot at
I love it.
Wow. Do you know I did a sitcom once, and we rehearsed for about 3 weeks, and then shot it for about 3 weeks, more than that. Perhaps the whole thing was 2 months. And you know when you hang around in a gang, you have a saying that you all, and we were all doing the voice. Going, You're my wife. I'm sorry, it's not very good, but mine's a bit more like Zippy from the radio.
Yes.
You're my wife now. Well, what do you think, George? And our whole period was doing that. Isn't it odd how you touch people's lives?
It is, yeah. I mean, that thing was such a strange. You would never have thought that would have latched on, in any way, shape, or form. It was just a strange private joke.
In case you don't know it, well, can you describe it?
Well, we should say it's Papa Lazarus.
Yeah, one of the characters in The League of Gentlemen was this strange kind of ringmaster circus clown. Freaky character that came into the town, and he had like a black minstrel face, but he had this incredibly deep, strange voice, and the revelation was he was taking people's wives away with them in this strange harem. It's very weird.
And they were all called
story.
Dave.
And he called everyone Dave, yeah. But that came from, and I've told this story hundreds of times, my landlord that I used to share a flat with, and he would never recognise me as being part of the tenancy agreement, so he would always ring up and talk to Steve, and if I answered the phone, he was like, "That's Dave." No, Steve there. No, speak to me. I want to speak to Steve. So it was just that was the voice.
I can listen to the voice all day.
Absolute Radio.
You're my wife now.
Yes.
What's wrong? Well, can you give me any coaching on
It's
that?
not guttural enough. It needs to be.
Can I try it? Can I try it?
Go on.
You're my wife now.
Better.
A bit better, yeah.
And I like the sort of slight lesbian element. I think you missed that. I think you missed
Gareth,
that.
your go.
You're my wife. No.
I didn't like the pause.
You took me by surprise.
Yeah.
We had an amazing when me and my wife watched the first episode together, and I didn't know, but on like chat shows and stuff, and I think on morning TV they'd showed some of the clips. So with David and Maureen.
Yes.
So David, who's the son, who's into serial killers.
Yeah, and his mum was.
Yeah, and it's a very strange relationship where they're a bit too close, aren't they? And there's a bit where she's cleaning the dead skin off his back, and Laura had seen a clip of this before, and so just before we were watching it, and just before she said it, Maureen said it. Laura said, "I'll go and get the dustpan and brush." And then
I said it as the character, yeah.
And it completely freaked me out.
That's weird. Go and fetch your dustpan and brush. I've got half your back between my legs.
See, I feel they're getting a taster. The people who haven't seen it are being drawn in.
Catch up. I'll do a quick catch up for you.
So, I was going to ask you what else you've got, but you've already told me you've got secret things coming up.
Yeah,
you can't talk about. You did art, didn't you, in the West End?
I did, and so did you, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Which character did you play?
I was Ivan.
Oh, I was Ivan.
Yeah.
As well.
I saw you. I actually saw you.
Oh God, and you still did it.
Yeah.
I bet you thought, well, actually, that's quite easy
anyone
to do.
could do this.
Exactly. No, you were quite right. A lot of sort of non-actors were brought in to play that part.
Yeah, it was good though. It was that hard speech.
Don't say that. That
speech
sounds like he's not an actor, and he is an actor.
No, I meant me. I meant me.
He's been self-depreciating.
So protective of the guests you are. not of me in any way, of course.
Did you enjoy doing your time as an actor?
Well, I did really like it because it was a proper play.
Yeah, really good play.
And they all said to me, "You're not going to start improvising are you, and stuff like that. Because, you know, when a comedian turns up, they think, oh, he's going to be turned into the crowd and going,
Yes,
well,
yeah.
what do you think of that, ladies and gentlemen? But no, I took it incredibly seriously.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
3 months is a good period to be in.
Absolutely, yeah. And short. It was short, no interval.
Yeah, exactly.
Great, wasn't
And
it?
you had Mondays off, and it was it had all the good things about
Yes, it was
acting. Time off, not very long.
Yeah,
It's great that. I
You were
found
in
on
the
a
producers
Wednesday
as
matinee
well.
we could do it an hour and a quarter.
That's right, yeah.
Straight through at a
Straight
gallop.
through, yeah. Yes, I did do the producers, yeah. That was tough. That nearly killed me, that. 2.5 hours leaping around, singing and dancing on stage. I was Leo Bloom in the producers.
It's a great part, though.
Great part, yeah. I loved it. I really loved doing it.
Oh, and all those dancing girls.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it made
but-
you feel very cool and kind of with the breeze, not cool.
Oh, so it made me feel very hot.
Yes, well, it would you, yes.
Yeah, oh, would you?
You just like the heat.
I do. Well, that's it. It's very quick and thingy. But
I know,
can I
but-
just say again, watch Psychoville. It's 10 o'clock. It's Thursday nights on BBC
Yes,
Two.
do watch it.
And
And you're proof that you can get into it, even though it's...
And I'll
we're
tell you what's
halfway
brilliant
through.
about it. It's a lot of television is quite the same, whereas Psychoville feels really different. And well done to you for creating that.
Thank you, yeah. No, we're very pleased with it, and it is, you know, there's a lot of care gone into it, and I have that, and apparently that shows. That's great.
My wife.
That was the way you did it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
He was lovely, wasn't he, Reece?
I really liked
Yeah, that
him.
was
Yeah, we liked him. I thought he'd be violent and frightening. But no, he's a really nice chap. I look forward to seeing him again in 12 years. Have we had any feedback from what I now like to call my friends out there?
Well, we've got some great keyring stuff. You're doing readings for people from their keyrings.
Well, we've had some positive responses to that. I think I could. If
Yeah,
Derek
yeah.
Okora can make a living out of
Yeah.
quite simply making things up.
It's cold reading, isn't it? It's
By the
like,
way, if any fans of Derek Okora are listening, I seriously believe he does just makes things up. Okay,
Chrissy Cooper from London, right? This is a good one for you.
that was
to
my
go.
apology, just in case there's any legal problems.
Just to clear things up. Chrissy Cooper says, my keyring has a pink and blue ribbon, a guardian angel, an England rugby motif, and a trolley token. What do you make of that?
Pink and blue ribbon.
Yeah.
So she's a bisexual sports fan.
Guardian angel.
Yeah, Guardian Angel suggests that she is worried about the modern world and the way it's going. And I think the supermarket trolley is... There's a Dale Winton theme that I'm not prepared to.
England rugby motif.
I think... I don't like people who like rugby. I've gone off her.
So...
Get rid of that bit.
Someone you don't
It was
like.
so harsh. You can't just dismiss someone because they
No, I
like
like her.
rugby.
What's she called again?
Chrissy Cooper.
I didn't mean that, Chrissy Cooper. But I don't like rugby. I associate rugby with men with posh accents and thick necks going, "Oi, bazimba, zimba, zimba, oi, bazimba, zimba," eh," and being sexist and generally not very pleasant. If there's any rugby fans listening, yes, I do think that about rugby. That's another apology out of the way. I think, you've got to keep an eye on not offending people.
Mo's keyring is a battered red heart with most of the paint chipped off.
Well, I think that kind of basically speaks for itself, doesn't
Oh,
it? She's a
poor
very,
man.
very down-at-heel butcher. Specialising in offal.
Hey, Frank, someone suggested a pet that I can have.
Oh, go on.
It's a dog called a Shiba Inu, and apparently it's like a fox. And she says, this lady, Rose, in Hertfordshire, says they make a fantastic noise called the Shiba Scream. I like the sound of that.
The Sheba scream.
Yeah.
Because if you ever heard a fox scream in the night?
Dreadful.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
I love that noise.
I heard one the other night going, "Help! Help!" I looked out and I saw Emily getting it into the boot of a car. Holding in the other hand a small velour three-piece suit on a coat hanger. I can tell you I was completely startled.
And a pot of wax.
Yes, indeed. A pot of wax. I feel we've come to the end of what I like to call our tether. It's been a very different morning, but I love doing this show. I'd do this show. I'd do a 24-hour charity version of this show, in which every link I spoke in a different language. Don't hold me to that, by the way. If the bosses of Absolute are listening, it's been me, Frank Skinner, and Joe Russell is coming up next. So stay around for that. Thanks, Em and Gareth. I don't know why. Thank you, being paid. It's been beautiful. This is Green Day. No, it isn't. That was Green Day. Oh, it's all going so well. I've spoiled it at the very last hurdle. It's like Devon Lock in the Derby. If you don't know about that, Google it. It's is it We Are the People by Empire of the Sun, or is it Empire of the Sun by We Are the People? I feel I now betray my lack of knowledge of modern music. Anyway, you just take that. It's an anagram of what it is. Good day to you.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
How exciting is it to play the British Heart Foundation's weekly flutter? Ka-ching! Exciting enough to get your heart racing. Just a little bit. Like texting a mate. The same time they text you. Like flipping pancakes with majestic grace. Or spotting that last parking space. Yes! With the added joy of knowing the money you donate helps to fund life-saving research. £1 to play, £1,000 to win every week. Search British Heart Foundation Weekly Lottery. See? It's a little bit exciting.
Gamble responsibly. Over 18s only. T's and C's apply. Please see our website for more details. British Heart Foundation is a registered charity.